There's nothing quite like a good old ghost story to get you in the spooky spirit. So today, we thought we'd share 5 scary stories about haunted hotels that will leave you never wanting to book a room again. From a creepy doll who was once a real girl to a ghost bride who's searching for her missing groom, these are the spine-tingling tales that will make you think twice before you check into your next hotel. The Stanley Hotel, Estes Park, Colorado. It's hard not to feel like you've stepped back in time when you arrive at the historic Stanley Hotel. Built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Johnson, this majestic resort is full of nooks, crannies, and secret passages, making it the perfect place for an adventure. Located in the town of Estes Park at the base of Rocky Mountain National Park, the Stanley has long been a favorite destination for travelers looking to experience the great outdoors. But what they may not realize is that they're also in for an unexpected side of entertainment, an appearance from the hotel's resident ghosts. According to legend, the Stanley Hotel is home to a number of paranormal presences, most notably the ghost of a young girl named Almira. Born in 1903, Almira lived in the hotel with her parents, who were employed there as servants. But tragically, she died of the Spanish flu just 4 years later, and her body was laid to rest in the basement. Since then, guests have reported hearing the sound of children's laughter and footsteps in the hallways, as well as seeing the ghost of a little girl in a Victorian nightgown. But Almira isn't the only ghost that makes regular appearances at the Stanley. In fact, the entire 3rd floor is said to be haunted by the spirits of former guests and staff members, including the ghost of a maid who was murdered in the 1920s. If you're brave enough to spend the night in room 307, you might even be able to see her for yourself. But despite all the ghostly activity, the Stanley is still very much a place for the living to enjoy themselves. In addition to its rich history and stunning location, the hotel also offers a range of activities from skiing and snowboarding in the winter to hiking and biking in the summer. Plus, you can take a tour of the hotel to learn more about its fascinating past and the spirits that are said to haunt it. Just be sure to keep an eye out for any unexpected visitors. You never know when one of the Stanley's ghosts might make an appearance. The Jefferson Hotel, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Jefferson Hotel is a grand old building steeped in history. Built in 1876, it's seen its fair share of famous faces over the years, from presidents to celebrities. But it's also got a darker side. Rumor has it that the hotel is haunted by the ghost of a young woman named Helen Viola. Helen worked as a hat and shoe check girl in the basement of the hotel when she met and fell in love with a man named John, a bellhop. The two were planning to elope when suddenly John was killed in a freak accident. Heartbroken, Helen threw herself off the roof of the hotel and was found dead in the basement, right where she'd had her last shift. Now guests have reported seeing the ghost of Helen walking the halls of the hotel, especially around the basement where she died. Some have even heard the sound of footsteps or whispers in the middle of the night. But Helen isn't the only ghost that makes an appearance. There are also reports of a former guest who died in his room after suffering a heart attack. His ghost is said to haunt the 4th floor, moving objects and shaking beds. But despite the spooky reputation, the Jefferson is still a popular spot for travelers looking to experience a piece of history. With its stunning architecture and prime location in Center City, it's a great base from which to explore Philadelphia. Just be sure to keep an eye out for any unexpected visitors. You never know when one of the hotel's ghosts might make an appearance. The Crescent Hotel, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. If you're looking for a romantic getaway filled with charm and southern hospitality, look no further than the Crescent Hotel. This historic inn, located in the Ozark Mountains, was built in 1886 and has long been a favorite destination for honeymooners and couples. But it's not just the stunning views and luxurious accommodations that make the Crescent so special. It's also got a rich history that includes a dark and mysterious past. During the early 20th century, the hotel served as a hospital for those suffering from tuberculosis, a disease that killed millions worldwide. But the treatments offered at the Crescent were anything but conventional. Guests were encouraged to take long baths and wear wet sheets to induce sweating, which was believed to help rid the body of toxins. One of the most famous patients was a young woman named Hazel Detmer, who was admitted to the Crescent in 1920. She suffered from a severe case of TB and spent months in the hotel trying to recover. But eventually she became bedridden and died in room 318. Her body was embalmed and placed in a vault below the hotel until it could be moved to her family's plot. However, the plan was delayed due to complications with her family, and Hazel's remains ended up staying in the hotel for nearly 30 years. During that time, guests and staff reported hearing strange noises and seeing apparitions in room 318. Eventually, in 1950, the decision was made to exhume Hazel's body and move her to a cemetery in nearby Fayetteville. But it's not just Hazel's ghost that haunts the Crescent. There are also reports of other former patients who died at the hotel, as well as the ghost of a young girl who drowned in the pool. But despite its spooky reputation, the Crescent is still a popular destination for those looking for a unique getaway. With its stunning mountain views and fascinating history, it's a place where you can relax and unwind while staying connected to the past. The Driscoll Hotel, Austin, Texas. The Driscoll Hotel is a grand old building steeped in history. Built in 1886, it was once the tallest and most luxurious hotel in all of Texas. But it's not just the stunning architecture and prime location in downtown Austin that make the Driscoll so special. It's also got a dark and mysterious past. The hotel was built by Colonel Thomas Driscoll, a wealthy businessman and former Confederate soldier, and he spared no expense in creating a truly spectacular establishment. The Driscoll quickly became a favorite destination for the elite, with guests like presidents and Hollywood stars, but it was also a popular spot for gamblers and outlaws, including the infamous Bonnie and Clyde. In 1929, a young woman named Cora Youngblood checked into the hotel. She was a member of the Youngblood family, one of the wealthiest in Texas. But Cora wasn't just any ordinary debutante. She was known for her wild ways and had a reputation for being a bit of a handful. Despite her father's objections, Cora had fallen in love with a man named Jesse, a poor but charming drifter. They decided to elope, but tragedy struck when Jesse was shot and killed by a rival gang. Overwhelmed with grief, Cora took her own life in her hotel room, leaving behind a note addressed to her family, begging them to forgive her for bringing disgrace upon them. Today, guests have reported seeing the ghost of Cora Youngblood wandering the halls of the hotel. She's often seen in the bathroom on the 6th floor, staring directly at you with sad eyes. Some have even heard the sound of her footsteps or felt a cold touch on their arm as she passes by. But despite the spooky reputation, the Driscoll is still a popular spot for those looking for a luxurious getaway in downtown Austin. With its stunning architecture and rich history, it's a place where you can relax and unwind while staying connected to the past. Hotel del Coronado, Coronado, California. The Hotel del Coronado is a grand old building steeped in history. Built in 1888, it was once the largest wooden structure in the world and was considered to be the height of luxury. Designed by William Templeton Johnson, the hotel was meant to evoke the charm of a Spanish villa with its red tile roof and white stucco walls. It quickly became a popular destination for the rich and famous, including royalty and movie stars. But it's not just the stunning architecture and prime location on the beach that make the Hotel del Coronado so special. It's also got a dark and mysterious past. One of the most famous guests to ever stay at the hotel was Kate Morgan, a 24-year-old woman who checked in on November 4, 1892. She was traveling under the alias Mrs. J.S. Morgan and had a small suitcase with her, but no one knows what happened to its contents. Kate's behavior was odd from the start. She refused to have her picture taken and kept her door locked at all times. When she checked out 3 days later, no one could find her, and her room was found to be empty. A search of the hotel revealed a key to the cellar, but it didn't open any doors. As the hours passed, fear turned to panic, and Kate was never seen again. Her ghost is said to haunt the hotel to this day, appearing in room 3327, the same room she stayed in during her final days alive. Some guests have even reported hearing the sound of footsteps or voices coming from the room, despite it being empty. But despite the spooky reputation, the Hotel del Coronado is still a popular destination for those looking for a luxurious getaway in San Diego. With its stunning ocean views and fascinating history, it's a place where you can relax and unwind while staying connected to the past. Well, that concludes our list of the 5 scariest stories about haunted hotels. Did you find these stories fascinating or terrifying? Which hotel would you never want to stay in again? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more spine-chilling tales.